I know I'm not normally here on a Wednesday, but I am. Neil's popping in. I don't know where he is. Neil Long is somewhere, probably looking in the mirror going, where did it all go right? Hello, everyone. I'm Russ Kane. This is the Midday Show, and it is Wednesday, the 27th of November, almost in to December. Oh, God. Last night, I had dinner with a friend. Whom I used to work with when we were both at the Variety Club, which is now called Variety, the children's charity, but it was called Variety Club for decades and decades and decades. Better name, to be honest. But anyway, it's called Variety, the children's charity. I'm nothing to do with it now, but I was for many, many years, about 20 years or so, had the honour of being chief barker and served on the committee, was a trustee. And we used to sit next to each other. Anyway, went out for dinner last night to a little local Italian place. And they had a special on the menu, which was spaghetti, which I love. I love pasta, spaghetti, but done with kind of anchovies and some little bits of anchovy-type fish in a kind of sauce. I don't think it liked me. I liked it, but I don't think it liked me. That's all I have to say. So the delightful Chantal Rickards, OBE, has invited me out to see yet another film this evening, and I have politely declined because I just it's just one of those days. Tons and tons to talk about today. If Neil ever gets here, and if he doesn't, we will just have a conversation. I put up a post. By the way, this is how you join us. If you do go onto our YouTube channel, if you're watching it on the YouTube channel, please. They always say on the American thing, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Not to do that, we're not American. You can just quite simply press like, which really helps the algorithms. And also, if you could subscribe, that would be great. Then you'll always know when we have another video up, and these go automatically onto our channel. Any of the past shows that you've missed and you want to catch up on, they're all there. Every video we've ever done, which is like loads, right? So, okay, first coming in. Here we go. Is Longie locked? God only knows. I have no idea where the hell he is. Is Longie locked in his car? So he emails me, are you joining me on the show? I went, yeah. And then we spoke on Monday. You joining me on the show? Yeah, I say. Who isn't here? Neil Long. It explains, gentlemen and ladies, so much. So today, the FBI. No, hang on. Now, I don't want to be rude. I'm looking out. It's sort of grey and drizzly, and it's a bit chilly as well. Kimi Lashmar says this. Hello from Lanzarote. Don't worry, it's my last day. You've been there for bloody months, it feels like. Home tomorrow to floods, apparently. Yes, Belle Mooney, the wonderful journalist and writer Belle Mooney, who is as charming in real life as you think she might be. Her place is flooded. That's what happens. You live, it looks very picturesque. And goes, oh, I'd love to live here. And I always go, I wouldn't live there because it's right by the river. And when the river rises, boom, you're screwed. Hope you're feeling less fainty. Well, I don't know what it is, Kimmy, you know. Maybe I'm just falling to bits. Who the hell knows? Anyway, back to what I was saying. Then I want to talk about something else. The FBI, one of its most wanted people, guess where they're found? Guess where they're hang on, Kimmy's having a row with me. I love it. From Lanzarote. It's only it's 10 days to you. It feels like 10 months to me. Okay. Great point from Grandpa. Normally on Wednesday with Longie, the guest doesn't turn up rather than the co-host. Yeah, I know. Lucky I bothered to show, isn't it? Is he in is he in holiday in Tolworth? He's bonkers enough that he might well be on holiday in Tolworth. Maybe he goes to a holiday company, goes, got anywhere near Tolworth? And they go, yeah, it could well be. Hello, Robert Van Buren. Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Neil Long.
I'm so sorry. My comedy clock on the wall said 12 o'clock and I put the computer on. It said 4 minutes past. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry
This is your radio professional. Unbelievable.
That. What would happen at radio?
I blame my girlfriend.
Why? We need more details. Yeah, we don't know. No, we really do. We really no. All right.
Actually,
Hello,
she came
Neil,
around
says
front, it
Robert
wasn't
Van
her
Buren.
fault.
No, Kimmy Lashmart. No. The FBI didn't find their most wanted in Tolworth. No. So he's in a Californian wanted, I believe, for bomb offences.
No,
and
actually,
God
I've
knows
got a
what
funny,
else. He's
got
a
a
real
funny story about that.
serious badass. Coming onto it. Where do they find him? Wales. The Welsh again. The Welsh, like Southport.
Some shit went down in Tolworth, and the forensics were there, like swabbing, and they, with the crime scene tape and all that sort
Is
of
it
thing.
CSI Tolworth now?
Wait for it, and then it transpired that they'd been swabbing the wrong flower bed, and then it was the next one up. They should have been doing.
Please tell me you're joking. So something happened in time. Swapped the wrong flower bed. I shouldn't laugh.
Can I tell you another funny Tolworth story?
Oh, please do. Oh, this is very good. Was he? That's quite a good gag. The FBI most wanted found in Wales. Was he part of the Taffia? Tonight you sleep with the leaks. Right. Go on. Another one. Go on then.
I saw a documentary about the Irish mafia. They called it Paddy Whacked, which I thought was quite clever.
Oh, that's clever. Was that a joke or is that real?
That's real.
Oh, that's clever. That's very clever.
Yeah, no, it's a genuine documentary about the Irish
then
mafia.
they'll say, oh, that's cultural appropriation.
So, Christmas tree turn-ons. Okay, so we got Kingston upon Thames near where I live, Richmond, all that sort of stuff, all those southwest London towns. Okay. And they generally have, sorry, just saying goodbye to my girlfriend. Bye, darling. Bye, my beautiful baby.
All right. Okay. I'll say hello to my dog. Hi, dog. Moving on.
And then, so they have the big gatherings, maybe a local celebrity to turn the lights on, that sort of thing.
Like someone who was at Capitol, now on Radio Jackie for many years, does the midday show, someone like that.
So Mick Brown.
Down the running mare.
Mick
Brown's daughter, I just wished her happy birthday.
Her birthday today, yeah.
She's 40. Mick Brown's daughter, I remember her as a little gnat, little baby gnat.
I do. I remember he used to bring him into Capitol.
Anyway, there we are.
No, yeah, Natalie and Josh, they're wonderful human beings. Anyway, so Christmas lights turn on 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All the lights come on. Yeah. It's beautiful. Tolworth version, we had a gathering of 10 or so outside Radio Jackie one day. And it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Flip the switch. 1 lamppost decorated comes on. Next thing, no, wait. It wasn't a mistake. Next thing, you see one solitary bloke legging it down to the next lamppost. Turn that one on manually. Legging it down to the next one. Turn that one on manually. Legging it down. True story.
Oh my God.
And I have to admit, I do think that was delightfully funny. Do you want any funny songs on the show today? Do you want me to get
absolutely. We love the Biffin Brothers songs. These are great. The Dangerous Wing. Yeah, sure. The Dangerous Wing of Women Institutes called the Raffia. You're brave. Barry J. Allen. Oh, leader of the universe. Oh, no, savior of the universe. Afternoon to you all. And people say, why do you do that? Because the Flash, his real name, in the comic books, was Barry Allen. So when you get somebody called Barry Allen, you got to call him the Flash. Not for that reason. Anyway, Christmas lights, you won't believe this, but one year I was part of the ceremony for Regent Street, which is like the biggest in the UK. God knows why they asked me, but they did.
Well, no, because you have this thing, Russ, where you kind of
downplay
yourself.
I think it was me and...
Like it or not, you do have a profile and people really remember you, like it or not, dude.
That's very sweet of you. Anyway, it was amazing because they did...
There you go again.
Yeah, and they did the balcony and there were just thousands of people. I've never forgotten. It was an amazing thing. I didn't do the countdown. I think we were winding people up and doing everything like that. Hopefully on slightly sadder news... another radio station, but I'm going to do it today, is going to be doing a tribute to Howard Hughes.
Oh, wonderful.
Which, I'm going to do, and I'm pleased to say I've been chatting to Tarrant, and Tarrant's going to take part in it as well, which I'm really thrilled about.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And the only thing is, I have to say, and I'm not prying. I'm not prying. I'm trying to tiptoe through this. And all of us, all the old gang, are asking each other, do you know what happened? And everyone's saying, not a clue. Do you know when the funeral is? No. Do you know where the funeral is? No. Because we would like, as a mark of respect to someone that we really admired, we'd like to attend. It might even be in Liverpool. And I'm going to, if it is, I'll get on a train.
Yeah, I'll go with you, mate. If I
Will
may.
you? Of course you can. That'd be done.
I would love to pay my respects to him.
Well, he deserves it, but he would be astounded. Oh, don't be so silly. It's only me. And we go, no, Howie is. Anyway, everyone's still kind of reeling from losing Howard, and it's like this sounds awkward. Bear with me. See if you can go. See what I'm doing. We have no right. We're not family. We were just colleagues, right? So we have no right to say we need closure. That feels really needy.
No.
But there's something about the human nature and human psyche when somebody just goes, they just dies. They just die. And you think, I don't know how they died. I don't know what the cause of death was. I want to go pay my respects. And I feel we don't know where it is. And Howard was an intensely private man. Intensely. There's conversations which I'm not going to reveal.
But an intensely loved man, an intensely.
Yeah, he was. He never understood that. He would never accept. Howie would never accept that. But he was very, very private. Very, very private. Yeah, right. But he was very, very private, and
for me, it's not about.
Do you think we're pushing our way? Let me ask you a question, and everybody watching all over the world, and Lanzarote and God knows where else. What are we being ridiculous? And you could say, well, it's not about business. Why don't we just shut up? We're paying our respects. The end. We don't have a right. No, that's my point. We don't have a right, do we, Neil?
No. If his family and those closest to him said because he is very private, we want to keep it absolutely private. We as professionals, and with that comes professional respect, would honour that completely, absolutely 100%. But my desire, were I given the option, I would like to go. It's not for closure for me, but it would be to pay my respects. I just love the guy. You know what I mean? As we all did.
He was terrific. He was a terrific. He was, off air, incredibly quiet. Just got on with his own things. It was his things that he didn't want to share. He was not interested in show businesses in any shape or form. It had no interest to him at all. For him, it was about the work and the people he admired. I remember he always talked about Art Bell, who was a big talk show host in America. Not well known over here, huge in the States. And the people he admired, etc. It was so interesting, but he loved radio for itself, just as the media.
And I think when you see, we talked about this when we talk on the mental health thing, being in your zone and in your flow, and really doing what you're. And it sounds a bit pithy, what you're put on the planet to do. You just see people that when you see them do their professional work, it just seems so natural. I've seen a fishmonger dressed in his fishmonger suit behind a fishmonger counter, and for some reason, it wasn't just a bloke behind a counter. It just looked authentic. It just looked right. And it doesn't matter if you're a fishmonger, a radio presenter, or a parent. It doesn't matter. If you're doing what you're good at and you're in your flow and in your zone, it's got a magic to it. And it's something that people, it's one of those words. It's like poignant, the word poignant. It's hard to explain, but we all know what it means. Yeah. And this is hard to put into words, but you know what I mean. I think there was a book written by a lady that actually used to be married to Martin Scorsese, called Julia Cameron, and she wrote a book on creativity from quite a spiritual perspective, in the sense that there's a creative energy flowing through us. Give that energy whatever name you want; it didn't matter, but it's where we get our creative side from. And it was to cultivate. Pardon?
Correct.
And it was to cultivate that creativity. It was a pretty famous book, certainly in the self-help world, called The Artist's Way, and the follow-up to that was called The Vein of Gold, and that's what she was talking about. And she cited actors. I think she talked about Kevin Kline in the book, and just people that are so good at what they do, and he had that magic.
He was
It was
underrated,
so
wasn't
authentic,
he? He was
so-
underrated. Fell off. I don't know what happened. I think he's still alive, but he just disappeared. He was huge and then disappeared. Right,
Who,
I'm going
Kevin
to
Kline?
address Kevin Kline. Yeah, I'm going to address this point.
So because I watched
Kimmy,
A Fish Called Wanda again relatively recently, and I reminded how good
does
he
it
was.
stand up to time? I haven't seen it for like 30, 40 years, I guess.
Yeah, it does. John Cleese still fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis again, brilliant.
Oh, says Kimmy. Oh, every time a person dies and the news says after a short, long illness, I'm immediately thinking, what illness? Well, Howie did have a horrible accident ages and ages and ages ago. He was this is public knowledge. I'm not telling anything that is.
No, I saw this on Facebook
because he talked about it himself. I'm not telling tales out of school because I think that's crap. He was redecorating, and he was the walls of where he lived, and he misjudged a bleach solution. I think he was like cleaning, and by accident, and because he misjudged the strength of the solution that he was mixing, he got lungfuls of bleach. Yeah, lungfuls of bleach. He ended up in hospital, was released, and then it kind of recurred again. I don't mean he made the same mistake, but he hadn't appreciated at the time how damaging that had been. I'm hoping it was nothing to do with that. No one knows. Everyone can speculate, and there's no point in speculating what happened to Howard, but he will be dearly missed, especially for globally, no pun intended, globally, he was loved for The Unexplained, his series, which he pioneered and kept going and did hundreds of episodes.
No, I know many people that love that. I'm not particularly into paranormal stuff. I must admit, I never saw any of it, but I was very aware he was doing it. Yeah. I was very aware of how well he was doing it, and I was very pleased that he was doing it.
He was very successful.
Doing it well.
Anyway, something, Kurt, I wanted to bounce something off you. And it's something I posted this morning on Facebook. I'd like your reaction, Longie, and everybody else. Yesterday, I officiated at the funeral of a renowned scientist in his field. He was like the guy, internationally renowned here in Europe and in America. He even served on the Nobel Prize committee. That's how important this fellow was. Okay.
Wow.
And the week before, I conducted the service of a bus conductor. Both end up in the same place, if you know what I mean, obviously. And the thing that defines both of them, completely different people, born in different countries, obviously totally different skills. They were both loved by their families, adored by their friends, lived life to the full, had great senses of humor, kept their hobbies right up until the end, kept their interests varied. And I thought, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. It's who you are as that person. That's the only thing that counts. So we're all on I hate the word journey. The destination for all of us is exactly the same, right? With me standing at a lectern. But, if you choose me, that is. But it's how you treat others on that journey. That's what occurred to me, Or am I talking at my posterioso? But that's what occurred to me. You couldn't have two more differing, careers. One was
but they're not that different. If you're in the vein of gold, to quote that book, it's all the same but different. If you
what's the vein of gold? What's that mean?
The Vein of Gold is the book I was referring to about people in their zone, written by Julia.
Oh, that's what it was called. Okay, I didn't catch that. Sorry, my mistake.
The Vein of Gold, and it does. It stands out. I've got a very, she's a very beautiful girl. She's presented on here before, Emily Dexter.
Oh, Emily Spinham Dex. Emily Spinham Dex.
Spinham Dex. Yeah, there's two Emilys that have played on here. Emily Dexter and Emily Kay. Both very beautiful women. But talking about
very
Emily,
charming too.
Emily Dexter here,
by the way,
and she, when she gets in her what I call her sparkles, I don't just mean what she wears. She wears lots of sparkly stuff, but when she gets in, what she's brilliant at doing is presenting and working a room and talking to people, and again, it literally lights her up. I'm sure if there was some sort of Chilean photography or something, you could actually see light coming out of her.
What was that word you just dropped in? What photography?
Curlian photography.
And for everybody else in the world, what does that mean?
It photographs auras. It photographs
wow,
auras.
Wow. Well, Graham, that's not always true. All right, Graham is saying this.
Not always.
No, it's really not. It's not always true. I always think that when someone is a multi-squillionaire, I mean, like F off rich, that sort of rich, right? You know what I mean by F off rich, that rich. Sonic's not, either corners have been cut or people have been hurt. I don't mean physically, you know what I mean.
Well, that's not
I
success.
get what you're saying.
That's greed. That's not success.
That's correct. And you think, I won't want to do business with that person because I'm going to lose my fingers on this or something like that.
Yeah, because and then ultimately, people like that, Graham, it backfires.
It does.
Karma is a mean bitch.
Karma will hit you on the arse with both feet.
What goes around comes around, so to speak.
For example, Graham, I would argue against that only because the scientist, this eminent scientist, I mean, God, his qualifications and the honors that were bestowed upon him were amazing. But it was, for him, never about the money. Wasn't interested in the money at all. His whole goal in life was for the benefit of mankind. Seriously.
It is possible to have both. We
can do that.
We had in fact, we had him on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. It was Daniel Glyde.
Daniel Glyde up in Scotland.
Do you remember? And
the ex-BBC guy who quit.
Yeah, and he's now a men's coach, and he was on a podcast that I edit. I actually got him on there. Really good podcast called Men on Show, which is all about.
He did my podcast. Side. He did our podcast as well. Walk the Talk, the Hero's Journey. Hasn't come out yet. Hasn't been released.
And the podcast I'm talking about called Men on Show by Andrew Payne, who's also been a guest on this show. By the way,
yes,
he's a very big men's advocate. Yeah. And Daniel Glyde, his quote, because when I make the podcast, I'll make a little social media asset or two, and one of them is a little pithy quote from the podcast, and this really stuck with me. Men don't think they can be happy and successful, but you can have both with the right strategies and the right tools.
Why would they think that?
Because conditioning, and maybe in the past it wasn't possible to be happy and successful, but it is now.
I didn't get that at all.
Things have changed. Human consciousness has changed. Technology has changed. So you can kind of have it all in that way. You can.
I don't understand that. I really don't understand. I think you can be perfectly happy and be successful. You can be unhappy and unsuccessul.
You can be unhappy and successful.
Well,
you can be happy and unsuccessful.
Look, we both know, and everybody watching and listening to the show knows. If you're listening on catch up, you'll know this. If you're a nasty person to start with and you make tons of money, then you're just a rich, nasty person. At the inside, it isn't going to change. You'll still be the same ghastly person.
Money doesn't.
Now you've got loads of money and you can.
Money doesn't define you; it reveals you. I think.
Absolutely. And some people are exceptionally generous and kind and. I've done really well. Let's enjoy it together.
Yeah, exactly. And now wrong with that. And the problem is sometimes you do get these really nice, kind, generous, rich people, and people think, oh, they must be horrible. They must have trodden on toes. That's like Graham's comment. There's this belief. It's an overgeneralization.
Just done well.
Not all poor people are nice, and not all rich people are nasty. It's too simplistic.
There's this is the great, one of the great myths, and I've always thought it was utter bullshit, is the great nobility of being poor. There is no nobility in being poor. It's not a state that anybody aspires to.
No, it's come
from.
But
this is this thing, and I think it was just meant to make people feel better. It's very noble.
It's come from old school religion.
It's unfortunate.
It's come from old school religion where it was kind of seen as a virtue to be poor.
But
that makes absolutely no sense. If you were ill, could I make you better by becoming ill myself?
No. That's
or would it be better served for me to demonstrate health so you could see how I do it and maybe model it and get it for yourself? Same with money. If you were really poor, does it help you if I'm poor too?
No, it doesn't help anything.
Or if I was rich and I could tell you some of the strategies and teach you how to fish so you could eat for a lifetime, as the saying goes,
Yep.
which is better. You can't help poor people by becoming one of them. You can't help ill people by becoming ill. It makes about as much logic as trying to stand up for virginity by screwing. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Graham's right. I mean, it's an old adage. It's always been nice. Always be nice to people on the way up. You never know when you need them. It's not that. I have a different version. It's always been nice
on the way down.
No, it's not. You're not going to need them. It's always be nice to people on the way up because they'll be waiting for you on the way down. That's my version.
That's a bit more sinister.
I don't think it's sinister. It's that, we've got a government now that works on the politics of envy. That's the whole basis. I don't know what the hell they're doing, and it's based on the politics of envy. You got, what is it? What's that woman's name? Angela Rayner, calling people who go to a certain school or something scum in a speech. Lovely language for a supposed politician, right? I mean, God, another 4.5 years of this crap. Anyway, you can't run on the politics of envy. You can't destroy everybody else because you haven't got it. Well, it's called Marxism. Right. Dave Sleep.
I do remember there was a thing in the paper this morning. It said that Keir Starmer's had a meeting with the head of the Farmers Union to discuss the inheritance tax. And the way the article was, it was phrased very politely and very politically, and it was just basically his representative said, Keir Starmer's representative said that Sir Keir has had a meeting with him to say that what we believe we're doing is right. So in other words, he gives him time just to get together and tell him why he's in the wrong. Thanks.
This is let's deal with Dave's comment, and then I want to talk about arrogance. You can be happy with a job for 2 weeks and so successful it lasts 24 years. But happy is about the connections over time.
Are we getting a bit serious? Do we need a break for a funny song?
We do in a sec. I don't think it's about the connect. Well, it's about the connections, but it's about the satisfaction you get from the job. I've been broadcasting scarily since 1984. That's 40 years. I still have the same passion, the love. I enjoy it enormously. I do it for the sake of it because I really, really enjoy it. Neil's the same.
And it shows.
Neil's the same.
It's your vein of gold.
It's not my connections that I've made, although I've made some lifelong friends, which is lovely. Neil's one.
Oh, come on. You do have a very good little black book. I want to get my hands on it.
Yeah, right. That's going to happen. But yeah, that's good. You and Joe Good, obsessed with my black book. But it's about the joy. Right. You're going to introduce. Let's have a film break because I'm loving these. Go ahead. You introduce what you're going to show because I have no idea.
We'll put a trigger warning on. There might be some F-bombs. Okay.
You've been warned, everybody. You've been warned.
What would you like? Would you like criticizing the price of the Oasis tickets? Would you like mocking Sadiq Khan for the politically correct name changes of certain tube lines?
We're going to definitely have that one at some point. Let's do Oasis first, and then we're going to have Sadiq. What's the third one?
Wait and see.
They're expensive and the price of the ticket's offensive and the radio plays them relentless. It's Oasis time. I want a ticket. £6,000 is not realistic, but I really do not want to miss it. Kidney donor time. And I wanted to know what the fuck they're doing. Ticketmaster shite. $500,000 ticket prices changing, and I want to know how they can charge those fees to ordinary folks like me. It's not the Ritz, it's Wembley. bucket's expensive, or else I've been in the queue.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
So the other choice is...
Are those
we
real
got the-
prices? Are those real? Because I'm not interested in Oasis. I've never rated them. Just me. They're like a Beatles light without the charisma.
No, I do
charm,
like
or
Oasis.
talent.
I do like Oasis. I must
Yeah,
admit.
they're all
And the
right.
other one is about typical Friday night behaviour. Going to the kebab shop is the other choice.
Oh, that's a good one. We might have all three today. I don't know. How many of these have you got on your
I've got
channel?
another 2 lined up here if you want them, and I've got
No. I can see that, but on your channel, how many of these have you produced?
about
'Cause
30.
they're beautifully produced.
Thank you.
They're terrific. How long does that take you to do?
It'd take me a day. Did you watch the one I sent you the other day, Fairy Tale of Weatherspoons?
Of course I did.
I'm not sure about playing that here.
We'd have to have a vote. We'd have to have. We'd have to be.
Pretty
We'd
bad.
have to do something which is completely at the moment unknown in the United Kingdom. We'd have to have a democratic vote. Anyway, there we are. I'm pleased that everything has been dropped against Alison Pearson. Well done, Alison. That's all I have to say on that. I just can't drive myself mad anymore. It's just what the heck. Right, where are we now? More comments coming in. Joanna Wilson absolutely loved that. So you're getting all sorts of fabulous emojis. And we've got Graham saying this. Would you care to read this, Neil, Mr. Biffin
I
Brothers?
came out of corporate life 26 years ago to set up on my own, and luckily I've enjoyed working with all my varied clients. If there was a horrible one, I would drop them, and that's the prerogative, I
that's the
suppose,
job,
because I'm,
isn't it?
you know, much as I lock horns with you over your terrible sense of humour and your bad jokes, Graham, I do get the sense that you're an absolute professional at what you do. So
He's highly
it's nice to be
successful
in
and
that
eminently
position.
sensible.
It's nice to be in that position where you can pick and choose the clients, you know, because it's nice to offer a service that we're good at to people that appreciate it and recognize that we're good at it. That's just keeps it sweet, doesn't it? It just keeps it keeps things nice.
It's absolutely true. It's interesting. It's a wonderful position to say, you know what? Life's too short. I don't want to work with these people because they're just, I'm not getting anything out of this. And they kind of go back to the nobility of being poor, which is obviously nonsense. But it's to be in a position, you don't have to be filthy rich, but to just be in a position to say, yeah, I'm going to lose money on this. I'm not going to make any money out of it. But I have the freedom to say, no, I don't want to work with this person because I know it's going to be a shed load of trouble. And one of the great things I think we develop, and if we don't, we're really daft, that when it comes to working with people, about personal relationships, working with people, if it starts off bad, it ain't ever going to improve. Never going to improve. You got to listen to your inner voice on that. And Neil's probably read about 200,000 books on the same subject. I just call it my little voice. And if my little voice is saying, this sucks, it's not going to work out. You know, it doesn't mean you have to not like the people, but it does mean I don't want to work with them because it's never going to be a happy experience. And although working doesn't mean you've got to walk around with a silly smile on your face, it'd be lovely if you could, but you know, work is work. It's hard work. That's what it's about. That's okay. You work hard and you get paid for it, but you don't want to work in misery, you know, with people you don't like or don't respect. That's now. You touched upon something very, very interesting a few minutes ago before we saw your fabulous, I'm loving your videos, Neil. Thank you so much.
Well, I've got another 2 ready for when you are.
Should we have another one now or should we wait? We'll deal with the next subject and then we'll have it because I just love the way it just lights up the show. I think they're hilarious, by the way. And really good spoofs. Really
don't
good
forget to subscribe, biffinbrothers.com.
BiffinBrothers.com. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe buttons. You'll never miss another Biffin Brothers video when it drops. Do you know how many of these ridiculous things I watch on YouTube? Endless. I don't really watch that much TV. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. Anywho, you were talking about Keir Starmer. I'm not going to be political. It's just a point I'm going to make. But here's an excellent example. You said he met with the Starmer's farmers, right? And he met with them not to say, yeah, I hear you, and let's look at it. He's just basically to say, well, you're wrong and I'm right, and that's the situation. Get over it and shove it up your combine harvester. This isn't the end of this, by the way. It's going to get way, way worse. So with that, and forget it's Starmer. I'm not talking about him as a person because I can't. I might want to have lunch at some point. It's about arrogance. And there's a new thing which has been breeding for the last few years, I've noticed. And see if you can see where I'm going with this, Longie, and then jump on. It's the arrogance. If you take the new Jaguar branding, I'm not going to go on about it because everyone's done it to death. Okay, to death. So you've all seen it. Okay, make up your own minds. You can either like it, not like it. But it's the doubling down. It's the we're right, you're wrong, your quotes vile and unacceptable. And it's this incredible arrogance that only their opinion is correct. Your opinion doesn't matter. You're the consumer, but it doesn't matter because you're an idiot because you don't agree. And that is a really weird situation to be in where you're just pissing off your customers deliberately. It's amazing. And I think it's real arrogance. It's nothing to do with marketing. It comes from up here. An arrogance of you're right and everybody else is wrong.
It's possible.
You can't go through life like that.
It's possible to both be right.
Yeah, of course it is.
You know, turkey's great at Christmas, unless you're a turkey. Both points of view are true. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not always one or the other. There's shades of grey, to coin a phrase. There's nuances.
There is. I mean, if you took the Jaguar thing, and I'm not getting into the ifs and whats and the detail of it. It must be like going to a marriage guidance counselling, listening to what's being said, and then saying, you're right, and it's all the other person's fault. Yeah. Everything is somebody else's fault. It's never your fault, it's their fault. It's their fault they didn't like your advertising. It's their fault they don't agree with anything that you're pushing. It's their fault they don't like your horrible political agenda. It's their fault, not your fault. Who started it? It's like being in the playground.
Yeah.
Well, he started it. Right? It's with the Jaguar thing, right? I understand they are rebranding, so to speak, the company. They have to go with a huge splash and do something very, very different because the new models, they're all electric. Big mistake. They're going to be physically huge. Big mistake. And they're going to be incredibly expensive. I mean, really expensive. Not like the Jags we've known and loved. They're going to be possibly going up against the top of the range, stuff like a Bentley or something, like a Bentley Bentayga or something like that. So I understand they want to differentiate, but you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You could say to people, yeah, all right, maybe you don't like this, but do you understand why we're doing it? And you bring people along with you. You have a conversation. It's like when we do this show and there's guests, and it's the same on Walk the Talk, the Hero's Journey, the podcast I do with Mark Collin, and probably with a podcast that you produce, or maybe not. I'm speaking on your behalf, as I shouldn't do. People say, "Can you send me the questions in advance?" I go, "No, of course not." Why?
No, a lot of
the
podcasts that I edit they're just very conversational.
That's it.
There's no arrogance. There's no arrogance to it. There's an understanding that not everyone's experience is the same, and that's allowed, and the only way it can be.
But I say I won't send you the questions because then it's question and answer. It looks like some horrible BBC interview. Yeah. It's not an interview. Neil said the key word. It's a conversation. Our show, the whole essence of the Midday show, it's a conversation with me and Neil. It's a conversation with you all over the world. A conversation with our guests. I don't come with any preconceived notions about it. If they're great people, it's great. And if they turn out, even if they've got a wonderful CV and they're not great people, cheerio. We'll try and get them off air as quickly as, but rarely happens. Rarely happens. Yeah. But it's true. I don't understand. It's the whole thing about there's no middle ground. Time for another video, I feel, because I just love them. I'm indulging myself. Forgive me. Go on. Which one should we have? Which one should we have, Neil? You've switched off. You've gone deaf. There you go.
This one's a bit of a swipe at Mr. Khan again. And shall we say alleged virtue signalling?
Yeah.
Because remember when they changed the names of the train lines? Yeah?
Yeah, I know.
It was... so if I had to subtitle this, it would be The Hypocrisy of Virtue Signalling. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the latest production from the Biffin Brothers.
Underground, overground, what does it mean? The name of the trains have changed for diversity. Spending 6 million on new station signs, taking the piss with the cash raised from fines. Uncle Bulgaria, oh what they want, name a station after him. And Eastern Europeans, pick up your shovels and build us all a conservatory for diversity. Signs are confusing and don't work for me. Thought it's a wind-up, but no, it's a dig. Another expensive, insensitive stunt.
Thanks, Mr. Khan. Who else thinks he's gone too far this time?
It's good to be good and it's good to be kind. We have the Victoria and the Liberty line. Plenty of headlines and airtime is grabbed. I just want to get home without being stabbed. The Metropolitan, is that a line named after Italian ice cream? And that Indian one, when you've dined for two and find yourself stuck in the Bakerloo.
You like that one? I'll have to tell my writing partner, you like the political ones, don't you?
I absolutely adore them. Because it says it all, but it says it in a very funny way, but it gets to the
Never a
absolute
truer
heart
word
of the
said
heart
in
of the
jest, my
matter.
friend.
And Scarlet Red, hello, Scarlet. Welcome. Scarlet Red, laugh out loud. Fantastic.
Hey, Scarlet Red.
Yesterday, Sadiq Khan,
Yeah.
he took away the adverts that had women in bikinis, sexist or some crap, and he banned various other adverts, and now there are adverts for assisted dying. This is a whole show in itself. Hello, Scarlet Red. You should wave at her. Delightful.
Hey, Scarlet. Good to have you watching.
Yeah. Thank you. So there's now on certain tube stations huge posters, huge. You know the one that line the tunnels for assisted dying. Let that sink in for a moment. Sink it in. You can't have a picture of somebody beach ready or body fit or summer ready because that's deeply offensive. And you can't have this and you can't have that. Assisted dying. And the poster is extraordinary because it's not an elderly person. It's an attractive woman who looks in the prime of life. She looks about 30, right? If that. And it goes on about assisted dying. And you're thinking, you allow that, but not the other stuff. Anyway, they've lined, and I've forgotten which station it is, the whole tunnel where you walk with these huge posters. And somebody called it the Tunnel of Death. The Tunnel of Death. This happened this week, right? Or only on Wednesday. So I think it happened Monday. So I wrote on social media yesterday on Twitter, which people seem to find vaguely amusing.
Mm.
I went, The Tunnel of Death. I like the first album, but when the lead guitarist, Digny Tass, left to join Hawkwind, I found it rather disappointing.
Okay, that is quite clever.
And I was sparked by that, by a wonderful comedian who I have admired for many years, called Simon Evans, who is just fantastic. I think he's dry, witty, acerbic, and so clever. And he and I chit-chat on Twitter, X as you call it, and he just put up a picture of John Peel. It was the thing about Tunnel of Death, and just a picture of, I could never stand John Peel, I'll be absolutely honest, but I'm just putting it out there, of Tunnel of Death, because it sounds like the sort of album, you know, that's the new one from the Tunnel of Death and all that. Oh, yes, there we go. Look at this. This is a little bit Anaraki. So that was my Tunnel of Death gag. The Jubilee line. Neil Long, your first question on London Underground here on Mastermind. Why was it called the Fleet Line?
Because it went under Fleet Street, maybe?
I'm afraid I can't accept that, no.
Shipping reference?
Nope, because it went under the Fleet River. Fleet Street is because of the Fleet River.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. There was a huge river in central London, down by Holborn. It's called the River Fleet. Yeah. The Jubilee Line was originally called the Fleet Line, but changed because of the Queen's Silver Jubilee in 77, but it opened 2 years later in 70. Well, at least it opened. I love the Jubilee Line. I'm on the Jubilee Line. That's my line. And I have to say the Elizabeth Line is
that the one where you get the empty carriage? You kind of go premium and you get a carriage for yourself.
Well, I'm
always seeing those pictures on Facebook.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's so weird. But you know what I do?
What?
I can't help it. I go up and down because, you know, normally when you're on a train, a tube carriage, it's freaking rand, right? So I have my headphones on or earbuds in, listening to a book, and I shut my eyes. I don't want to make contact with anybody. You know, I just want to zone out. No pun intended. But when I'm in a completely empty carriage, I either sing show tunes really loudly.
Oh, you don't?
Because you can. Because
we need video of this.
No, I'm not doing it ever. It feels so weird. It feels so weird that you're suddenly singing show tunes in a tube carriage as it's going along. Or else I walk up and down going, hey, good to see you. And I pretend I'm at the Polo Lounge in the Beverly, Wiltshire.
Oh, you don't?
I have a thing which I've always done in empty restaurants. If I'm there, I go, hey, good to see you. Hey, let's have lunch sometime. Get your people to call my people. And I can just walk up and because it's so random. And you couldn't possibly do it if there was even one other person in the carriage. I'm not well, am I? Jesus. Right. What is Scarlet Red saying, Neil?
Scarlet Red saying, lol, you're lucky you end up having your own carriage. Yet to get that on the Northern Line.
Oh, the Northern Line is disgusting. First of all, it all needs retiring because it's really dirty. I don't know why Northern Line feels. I use all the tube lines all the time. I don't drive into town anymore. I'm not giving the city calm 15 quid for the pleasure of driving in my own city. Thank you so much. So I always use the tube and bus, and that's what I do. It's fine. And I just zone out. You know, wear gloves. So I don't have to touch anything. I don't touching anything. Do you use public transport? I mean, you probably not so much where you live. It's a bit trickier.
No, not really. No, I do tend to drive, but I'm MULEZ compliant.
Me too. Never have anchovies with your spaghetti. Let's have another movie.
Another movie?
I love them. I'm loving them.
All right. What do you do on a Friday night?
I drink up, I can't cool down. The dawn is spinning round and round, round and round, round it goes. What's inside? Nobody knows. Every time I drink a lot, I head off to a certain shop, turkey shop, full of desire. Feed me, baby, let the fire get higher. Have a kebab, yeah. You're pissed and no, I wish I year. Have a kebab, yeah. 'Cause no one wish I care. It's only tragic when it's lunch. No one eats them unless they're drunk. Lamb, chicken, salad and sauce. Will I regret it? Yes, of course. I see the magic before my eyes. I feel the magic on my thighs. Just when I think I'm gonna walk away, I see the same scene every day. Had a late night kebab, yeah. And so do moms in their nightwear. They're taking all the 23 kids, yeah. For donor and chips there.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
I do
That
have
takes you
one
a
more.
day. That takes you a day, you're reckoning. It's
Sorry?
terrific. So you start with the idea. Walk us through it. I love the creative process. Go on.
Me or Matt will come up with an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll send it over to him, and he will put a twist on it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll write bits, then I produce them and get them sung either professionally or by us, and then put the pictures to them.
So
and then I go out.
professionally, do you use Fiverr? Do you use the system called Fiverr?
I do Fiverr. There's some fantastic. Actually, I'm going to get some audio from a lady that lives in America. She just done a wonderful. She sung a lot of my songs. She was on Fairy Tale of Weatherspoon, and she's brilliant. And she's just done a big show in America, like a dream come true kind of show in New York for women in theatre. And I wanted to learn all about that. So I'm going to get. So she's in a different time zone, so I can't have her live because she'd have to get up at something stupid like 5 a.m. But going to get some pre-recorded stuff to play on the show at some point because she's
By the
really,
way,
really good.
Longie is Tolworth's answer to Weird Al Yankovic. Absolutely right. You are. That's what it is. It's Weird Al Yankovic. Who I was
I'm nowhere near in his league.
Well, come on. He's got the budget and everything. You've got the talent. The budget is quite slightly different. By the way, little word of I hope you find this helpful. There's a thing called Fiverr. You just heard me mention it to Longie about Fiverr. It's Fiverr. Fiverr. And just look it up on Google or something like that. And if you want a design, or if you want vocals, or if you want some music track, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. People are out there and they will do it like flumpence halfpenny. And the results are always great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's not quite a Fiverr now. It's changed. They're normally about 30, 40 quid now.
Oh, wow. It was really cheap.
Yeah.
But even so, to get that, someone will say, yeah, I'll do a session for you. It's 250 quid and I want a residual. And
No, I mean, for example, the singer I use, Jen Coogan, no relation to Steve, is fantastic. I mean, she's just done a show in New York, for God's sake. So she's pretty damn good. Yeah, it's amazing. So it's Fiverr, and you can get all sorts of things done. People are very helpful. I mean, literally, it's amazing. You just say what you want. People come and bid. And you go, oh, I like the look of that. They'll show you a bit of work, and bish bash bosh, you're done. That's it. What is this one? Go on. What is this? Okay. You put something up. Well, you like the political ones, don't you?
Well, I kind of do. Yeah. By the way, and it wasn't a parody or anything, unlike these. Kamala Harris. Anyone remember her? Kamala Harris issued a video today. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say what everybody else is. So many people said, she looks drunk.
Really?
She looks and sounds off her face. And it's like, she's the vice president of the United States. It's a shocking video.
Should we have some more blistering political satire?
Yes, please. Come along. All right.
Okay. This might be taking the piss out of America a bit, so sorry to our American viewers.
Okay.
But not out of you as such, more out of certain presidents.
Certain things.
I'm proud to be an Englishman from Surrey. A place where even cops don't carry guns, where the only shooting's round the pub pool table, and a burning cross is called a hot cross bun. Unlike the Yanks, we wouldn't harm our teachers, and we don't sell ammunition in Tesco. The only time that you can buy a Magnum is when the ice cream van comes down the road. And we might not have the smartest politicians, but at least we don't have Trump as our top man. Which is why we no longer call it America. It's the United States of Dumbfuckistan. We don't need to fly a flag from every building, or put Old Glory stickers on our cars. Americans do to help them to remember, 'cause they're so thick they would forget where they are. I'm not saying Britain doesn't have her problems, but at least we're not completely in the shit. And the nearest thing that we have to a redneck is anyone who voted for UKIP.
And to think, once we were friends.
Where did I go wrong?
Everywhere.
Oh.
Everywhere. Here's the thing. I'll tell you what I disagree with that. I love it. It's very, 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 very clever. What I disagree with is I love it. I lived in America, I worked in America, been there a lot. My daughter's American. So I understand what you're saying about the flags. I like it. I love it that there's flags everywhere. I like it that people put flags in their front yards. I think it's great. Over here, because of the disgraceful ideology that is being pumped at us, which will be thrown back fully eventually. If you wave and show any patriotism, you're a Nazi, which is just insane. But it's a brilliant video. And thank God we don't sell ammunition. The notion you could walk into a Walmart and, you buy some food, I'd buy some bread, or I'd buy some ammo. It's insane.
I saw a picture of a sign up at Walmart. The signs above the aisles telling you what's there, home bake your frozen foods.
Yeah.
This was Bibles and ammunition in the same aisle.
And
that strikes me as crazy.
Shocking.
Now, I'd just like to say, I think America is a beautiful country, and I've met some fantastic American people. But that was just that as an element which we're mocking there. Not all.
No, there is. All right, very briefly, I've got a couple of minutes. Well, we can run over if like. They always quote the Second Amendment of the right to bear arms. Okay, let's just deal with that. That was meant when you were forming militias, militias were meant to be formed so they could fight the British. That's what that was about. All right. That's what that was about. The right to bear arms, so you could form a militia with your pals in your little village. If the British were coming, you'd have a militia to fight them away. That's number one, right? We went 200, God knows what years ago, right? Finished. Number two, the right to bear arms then was a musket, which took at least a full minute, if not more, to load. You'd put in the ball, the powder, and the charge, boom, and then you'd have to do the whole thing again. It was not AK-47s. And all the M5s and all the other things that, automatic assault rifles. That wasn't what it was about. And only yesterday, somebody said to me, this is why I support what you've said in there. Some of it I really disagree with, but what I support is this. Even yesterday, somebody said, well, it doesn't matter who, somebody from the States says, how long before the British need to be armed? And I said, never. Never. I hope to God it never happens. We're only lucky. You know, we go on and on about, and quite rightly that we should, about stabbings across the UK. People wandering around with swords and knives and Christ knows what else. It's insanity. Imagine if these maniacs, and they are, if these horrible, vicious barbarians had guns. We don't ever want to do that. We don't ever want to emulate that. So you are right, Nick. That you are right, Nick.
That was kind of the point of what the song was making.
No, you're
Really.
absolutely right. You're 100% correct. And Liz Saul, as in Liz Better Call Saul.
Very good.
In Canada, they better do something quick. In Canada's a right to arm. Hang on, look at this. Hang on. All round to Lizzie's place, everybody. Sorry I'm very late, boys. I've taken delivery of a very, very big TV. What is it? What? How big? How big? No, we'll never know. Grizzly bear. You're a very clever man, Neil Long. Those videos are terrific.
Well, if you want to subscribe to the channel, it's there, biffinbrothers.com.
Okay.
And it's not just me. Shout out to my comedy writing partner as well. It isn't just me.
No, it's great. Holy God. Liz Saul has bought herself a 65-inch TV.
Wow.
Wow. How much do you love Countryfile?
Wow, that's over 5 foot.
It's enormous. Well, Liz is 7'2". I suppose it'll, you know, 65-inch TV, sensational. Got to tell you, one of the kids, Dad lived at home for years, and he said, I've treated myself to something. And I said, what? He said, I'm not going there, Graham. I knew somebody would. Had to be you, didn't it? And he bought himself this TV. It's like a cinema screen. By the way, before I go, because I'm not on Friday, you'll be in the very, very far more capable than me. Phil Dave will be running the show with Chantal Rickards coming on. Chantal took me to see a film the other night. It's called Neil. It's one of the greatest films I've seen in many, many years. Oh, she watches NCIS. Jethro Leroy Gerbs. I love NCIS. I've seen every episode. The film is called The Brutalist.
Oh.
3.25 hours long with an intermission. For me, I'm not a film critic. I'm just a punter who likes films. One of the greatest films I've seen in the last 10, 15 years. Amazing. Absolutely an extraordinary film.
What's it about?
If I tell you what it's about, it's kind of dull. It's about a Hungarian, stay with me, from Budapest, architect who obviously the war comes, Nazis, Germans, and everybody come in, it's all terrible, and he emigrates. He manages to get out of Germany after the war, out of Budapest and Austria, and he gets to New York. And from New York, he goes to Philadelphia, and it's the story of his life. Both Chantal and I thought it was an actual biopic. It's completely fiction. You'll never know it's fictional. It's not based on any, but well, not really. It's the most extraordinary thing. It's the most extraordinary thing. It's called, as I said, The Brutalist. 3.25 hours. So don't drink a lot of tea or coffee before you go in, because if you got my problems. Right, that's it. And Death in Paradise, and the spin-off to Death in Paradise, which is Return to Paradise, which ain't bad. Not
and there's also an Aussie version now.
That's it, Return to Paradise, which I saw
right.
last night, thanks to Chantal's recommendation. And it's set on Dolphin Cove in Australia. The town's the size of, a large Asda. That's it. Anyway, there we are.
Good luck with your 80s show, Scala. I know someone that used to work on Deluxe Radio, so Hope that goes well for you.
Yes, good luck with that. Okie dokie. I recorded some shows. They never saw the light of day. Hang on. What is this? He comes in. We're just about to go. All right. Only because God. Would you like to read this epic speech out?
By all means, nice way to finish the show. I want to give a big
Thanks.
thanks to my some lovely Muslim ladies, some equally lovely Jewish ladies who came together to help a friend of mine who's having a severe mental health episode a few days ago. So-called Christians threw my friend out of their shop when she asked for help. The Muslim ladies took her by the hand, took him to another shop run by the Jewish ladies. Food for thought. my friends.
Wowza. Well, that is a beautiful way to end everything. We will see you on Monday. Get the Friday show. Until then, bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.